America, I'm Kara,
And I'm Avery.
and this is your Channel 79 News. Today we've received a super cool video from NASA about a new mission. Isn't that exciting?
Why, yes, it is. 3 brave snails have decided to risk their lives to head to Mars in a jar and help a plant survive there for a year.
Yeah, and according to NASA, the plant should give off enough oxygen for the snails to live, and the snails should give off enough carbon dioxide to help sustain the life of the plant. They have used lake water in their jar with bacteria to break down the waste of the snails.
Oh, I see. They're using the snails because plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis.
Oh yeah, and that's the process where plants use sunlight and water to make energy to live. That should work really well.
It should. So today we have 3 special visitors to talk about the mission. They're here.
Great. So these are our brave snails that decided they would take the mission to Mars. And they're here because we decided to call them and ask to interview them. And
Here with us today we have George. George, why don't you tell us what your ecosystem is made up of?
Sure, Avery. So at the bottom here we have our little pebbles to keep our plant up here stable and anchored. Then, if you turn around this way toward my other buddies, we have this rock here with algae. As you can see, it's pretty green, so that's our second plant. And then our jar is filled with lake water, which is full of bacteria, so that the bacteria will break down our waste.
How do you feel about your mission?
I'm feeling pretty good about this mission. I think that NASA has done a great job with it, and I think that we are all going to survive.
Thank you for being here with us today, George.
No problem.
Here right now we have Milo and Sebastian. They'll be joining George in the jar. How do you feel about your mission?
We're feeling pretty confident in the mission, and as always, you have that one, uneasy feeling, but I'm pretty sure it'll go away soon.
And that concludes the interviews. Thanks to George, Sebastian, and Milo.
Yeah.
So now that we know the purpose of photosynthesis, how does it work?
Chlorophyll in the chloroplast uses light, energy, and water to go through reactions to produce glucose.
Oh, and I see. They produce the oxygen as a waste, right?
So what about cellular respiration?
So in cellular respiration, the mitochondria releases the energy and hydrogen ions are transported and the electrons are removed. And so then ATP is produced and water forms. So there's got to be some similarities and some differences between the two, right?
Well, yeah, photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast.
Yeah, and then the cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria.
Photosynthesis uses the Calvin cycle.
And cellular respiration uses the Krebs cycle.
Photosynthesis builds sugar molecules.
And cellular respiration breaks down carbon-based molecules. But they do actually have some things similar, like the chemical equations, like all you have to do is switch them around.
The chemical equation is CO2 plus H2O yields C6H12O6 plus O2.
Yeah, and so then the cell respiration would be C6H12O6 plus O2 yields CO2 plus H2O. Wow, NASA had a lot to think about during that project, wouldn't you think?
What do you think some strengths and weaknesses are for their project?
I would really say that the water would probably be one of them because maybe there's not enough clean water in there, so over time it could get dirty and there may not have been enough bacteria in the water. But I think one of their strengths are the snails that they use, because the snails are giving off the oxygen to give to So do you think there's any strengths or weaknesses in their project?
I think a strength could be the amount of plants they used, just because the plants will provide oxygen for the snails.
Like they use the algae too, along with the plant. Right.
Yeah. But a weakness could be if they didn't use enough algae.
No, I'll just keep going. So enough talking about all this. Let's watch their awesome video that they sent us about this movie.